For the better part of 400 days and counting, the ring general Gunther has dominated the landscape of WWE as its Intercontinental Champion, where he is over 50 plus days at the time of this recording until he is considered the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, finally breaking the Honky Tonk Man's decades upon decades long record. And looking back on this reign, he's had quite the bangers that I feel will hold up against the test of time for years to come. I'm talking about his match with Sheamus back at WWE Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales, the triple threat match at WrestleMania 39 this past April in LA against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Hell, he even brought out the best in Braun Strowman last January on SmackDown. Now, I've lost count for how many good to great matches I've seen from Gunther from his time in WWE's main roster, and even from his time in NXT, NXT UK, and NXT takeovers as Walter before his name change. I've seen a lot of them, except for this one.
What? This was on me.
Wait. Hear me out. This particular match went down back during the height of the pandemic, and I was already tapped out on NXT UK by the time this match happened, and I just never bothered to search it out for myself, mainly because I saw the rematch at NXT TakeOver 36 and I loved every second of that encounter, but I just never got around to watching their first match until now. Now, I've seen people rave about this match on social media and podcasts, with folks considering it being the greatest slugfest they've ever seen, the greatest professional wrestling match of all time. Hell, some have even gone on to consider it an instant classic, and I want to test that theory. Will you join me? So today I'm going to sit back, relax, and see if the initial NXT UK Championship showdown between Walter and Ilja Dragunov should be considered an instant classic. As customary to these retrospectives, I like to at least look at the build to the matches so I can at least get some form of an emotional investment to what I'm watching. And due to the circumstances of professional wrestling sports entertainment at the time, there was no long-standing feud. Walter was this dominant force towering over the UK brand ever since winning the UK title from Pete Dunne back at NXT TakeOver New York 2019. Ilja Dragunov was still fresh on the NXT UK brand when he signed back in 2019, racking up wins and bringing a strong heavy hitter style to the table. So a showdown between the two were imminent, to say the very least. When NXT UK made its return after a 6-month hiatus on September 17, 2020, we were reminded that Ilja Dragunov is the #1 contender for Walter's UK Championship after winning a Battle Royal prior to the 6-month hiatus, and they spent the better part of a month building to the match, keeping both competitors apart. Both Walter and Dragunov competed in a tag team match on the October 15, 2020 edition of NXT UK, teaming with both Alexander Wolf and Pete Dunne respectively, which kind of makes me miss this version of Pete Dunne a little more. Butch is fine for his role in the Brawling Brutes, but this version of the Bruiserweight screamed superstar in my opinion. But the tag team match was a pretty solid slugfest between the 4 individuals, and it showed me just how dramatic of a wrestler Dragunov is, which I like to see in my wrestler, I can't lie to you. But the conclusion of this match saw Walter suffer his first pinfall loss at the hands of Dragunov, and that set the emotion of doubt in the mind of the dominant champion. And then there was a contract signing for the championship match on the October 22nd, 2020 edition of NXT UK. And this was an intense contract signing with neither competitor making a comment until after signing on the dotted line. And that's where Dragunov went to speak, and Walter said,
What is the 5 fingers say to the face?
What?
Slap! Oh, wow!
And then all hell broke loose between champion and challenger. That emotion of doubt turned into rage as Walter unleashed hell on Dragunov, but Ilja was not about to stay lying down as he sent both men crashing through the barricade. And after seeing this contract signing and all the hell that broke loose, I am sold. Bring on the match. It is now time for the main event of the October 29th, 2020 edition of NXT UK as the Invincible Ilja Dragunov challenges the towering, the dominant ring general Walter for the NXT UK Championship after a 7-month wait. This match kicked off as a slugfest, picking up right where they left off during the contract signing. Chops and knees and hitting each other like rent was past due. Man, listen to these chops right quick.
And these two compare, they battled.
Hell, rent was overdue. There was a brief turning point in the match where Walter sent Dragunov into the bottom rope, causing whiplash. I'm surprised that didn't knock him out, but Ilja kept fighting back. The target of the match was Dragunov's neck, which was severely weakened after that whiplash, making even attempting a suplex painful for the challenger. And the calculating champion found various ways to torture that neck by stomping on it and snapping it, but Dragunov was not looking to stay down. The theatrics of Dragunov's character worked here because every single strike, kick, and choke looked brutal, and he sold them brilliantly. I was genuinely feeling bad for him, but he kept fighting back. Quit was not in this man's vocabulary at this point in time. Dragunov began feeding off of the pain and put up one hell of a fight, finally hitting a German suplex on the champion, completely ignoring the pain. This is, in my opinion, a completely different take on David versus Goliath that I've never seen up until this point, and at this point, I am loving every single second of this. As we're reaching the climax of this match, both men exchange strong strikes, chops, and kicks. Like, listen to this.
Even fighting spirit. Oh, every angle possible.
Man, what the hell is this match? We've now reached the point of exhaustion in this match as every strike weakens the other, but doesn't put them down for the count. Walter finally takes Dragunov's head off with a lariat and then a stacking powerbomb for a very close near fall, and then Walter connects with another lariat for another near fall, which further infuriates the champion. It was at this point in the match where I legit forgot this was a scripted sport. They were out there trying to slaughter one another with chops, kicks, headbutts, you name it, they was throwing it at them, all while continuing to tell the story of the injured neck not stopping the challenger from fighting back against the champion. After he struggled with the injured neck, Dragunov finally connected with the Gotch-style suplex on the 300-pound champion for a near fall, but that didn't keep him down for the count, and the challenger kept throwing everything he had at the champion, and then that neck finally caught up to the challenger when he went for that flying headbutt, but he collapsed in pain. As the match neared its conclusion, Walter was still in the fight before the match spilled at ringside, where the champion connected with a reverse snap suplex, and he suplexed Dragunov onto his neck, and Walter immediately regained control after the powerbomb on the apron, but even hitting a massive splash from the top could not keep the challenger down for the pinfall. Walter kept getting frustrated, and I was just sitting there shocked what I was seeing. Walter then lost his composure and proceeded to choke out Dragunov with a sleeper to retain the title via referee stoppage. And whew, what a match. I think I need a smoke break after this. Man, do I have a lot of thoughts about this match. From a pound for pound standpoint, this match told a simplistic story of an underdog who refuses to quit, get up in the face of the massive dominant champion that has been on a tear for the better part of a year at that point. It was insane. You know what I appreciate about this match the most? It's the fact that the atmosphere was quiet, silent. The only thing you heard was the impacts of the strikes, bumps to the mat, and commentary. I know I've gone on record about saying how much I hated this time in pro wrestling where there wasn't a crowd in attendance to elevate these shows and matches due to the effects of the pandemic at the time, but this match did not suffer from that fact one single bit. It felt like two grown-ass men just beating the ever-living shit out of each other, and as much as you wanted to look away, you just couldn't, because you couldn't believe what you were witnessing. And as the match progressed, you could feel the desire of Dragunov wanting to win. He wanted it so bad, but the more he got exhausted and the more damage to his body he received, he couldn't hang in there anymore. But my appreciation for this match as a first-time viewer is at an all-time high once that final bell rung. And after seeing this match, I've grown a bigger appreciation for their inevitable rematch at NXT TakeOver 36 a year later in the United States in front of an actual crowd, sorta, at the then Capitol Wrestling Center. And Dragunov, buddy, you are one dramatic wrestler, but it doesn't feel forced, and I love it. Never change, Bubba. But now, after watching this match for the first time, can I honestly agree with those who highly praise this match and consider it an instant classic? Yes. Yes, I can. This match had no business being this good, and shout out to commentary, which was Andy Shepherd and Nigel McGuinness. Whenever Dragunov and Walter spoke in their native tongue, they immediately translated it, and I didn't have to waste time trying to figure out what was being said. I love that nice little touch there. Awesome commentary duo right there. Their chemistry and analysis of this match from bell to bell was a nice, needed presence. It elevated an already intense affair. There was no sidebar, no bits. They was just there calling the action, and it did not take away from the match at all. Great stuff. But I want to know you guys' thoughts on this classic championship match that went down between Dragunov and Walter. Do you think it stands against the test of time? Would you rank this one higher than their inevitable rematch that took place, which eventually saw Walter toppled by the resilient Dragunov, ending the Ring General's 870-day title reign? Let me know down in the comments using the hashtag #InstantClassic. And if this is your first time checking out the channel and would like to see more like this, as well as what ifs, fantasy bookings, and more, make sure you smash that subscribe button with the notification bells turned on so you won't miss an update. All the while, follow me on social media at Josh Gresham RRG. And when you're done with that there, make sure you check out this retrospective right here, where we turn back to 2009 to revisit the forgotten gem of Chris Jericho versus Rey Mysterio, mask versus title. I'll catch y'all over there, and y'all be breezy.
Cool kids step to the front. Cool kids. Too sweet sign for the click. Gotta give the people what they want. Gotta get Roddy K quick. Yeah, I'm up next on the Prince. They ain't been the same ever since. Living pretty well on the chairman. I ain't giving no chance like Vince. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like Gresh unleashed.